We were discussing dissolution of partnership, dissolution as in what we call as winding up. In the case of dissolution or in the case of winding up, the firm is getting closed. Whenever the firm gets closed, the firm has to sell all the assets and we need to pay the money back to the partners and also pay off all the liabilities. So the reason for the dissolution can be any of these. The term has expired, or the objective for which the partnership was floated is completed. The partner, all the partners, or all the partners except one is dead, or insolvency, any of these. So, in these circumstances, the partnership firm will go into dissolution. On the topic of dissolution of partnership firm, we've had a good amount of discussion in the past regarding the practical approach as to how will it be dealt with. Yeah. So we usually do know this realization account, wherein we realize the money from all the assets and the entire money that is realized from assets is paid to liabilities and then paid to capital. Prepare realization account, partners capital account. Balance sheet will not come because it is dissolution. We prepare cash account and it gets closed. We say dissolution cut off. That is after the entire process of realization is over and we have information regarding every bit and every small activity in the process of realization. Only then we can go for such preparation. In the process of realization, in the process of dissolution, we can't really do that. Why? Because we will not sell all the assets, collect all the money, and then start paying it. No. You would sell an asset, assume that the organization has land and building, plant and machinery, also several plants and machinery, several furnitures, hmm, several investments. It would not be possible for the organization to sell all the assets at once. What do? They sell plant and machinery. That plant and machinery money they distribute it to some liability. Again, they sell one more plant and machinery. That further money raised will be used to settle one more liability. Then they sell furniture. That money will be paid against some. So little assets are sold, little liabilities are paid off. So few assets are sold, few liabilities are paid. Few assets are sold, few liabilities are paid. And after all the liabilities are sold, few assets are sold. Money raised is used to pay little or portion of capital of all the partners. Again, little more of the assets are sold. Again, little more of the capital is paid. It always happens in bits and pieces. It will not happen in lump sum. It will happen in bits and pieces. And this is what we call as piecemeal distribution. What do we call this as? Piecemeal distribution. So, ethanol is another part of discussion with regard to dissolution. We will discuss it some other day. And yeah, how to pass entries also. The case of dissolution, the realization approach. So, we are going to discuss, and there is another beautiful discussion that I'll follow up in the same discussion on dissolution of partnership, Garner versus Murray. You might have always learned how to do Garner versus Murray entries or how to treat Garner versus Murray. Whereas I am going to discuss the applicability ruling is how it is given, points remember also. Other than that, I'm going to discuss in live as to how exactly the entire ruling of Garner versus Murray came. Who is Garner? Who is Murray? And one more name unspoken in this Garner's Murray is the name of Justice Joey. Justice Joey is a justice, chief justice, who gave this judgment of Garner and Murray case. So what happened in Garner and Murray case in the form of a beautiful story? I am going to discuss this. Another partner whose name was Milkins, who was part of the same partnership. So I am going to come up with this video very soon on same Unacademy CA Foundation, CA Intermediate, CA Final YouTube channel. Please do like, share, and subscribe this channel and stay awaited for me to come up with this video. I'm going to come up with this video very soon. Yeah. What we were discussing is piecemeal distribution. The entire lump sum of money to be payable to partners will not be paid one shot. It will be paid in small portions. And that small portions in which it will be paid is called a piecemeal distribution. Like an entire meal is broken into small pieces and then given to partners. You get this? This piecemeal distribution can be computed in two distinct methods. One of it is called as maximum loss method or notional loss method. The other one is called as highest relative capital method. It's called highest relative capital method, also called as absolute surplus method. Also called as absolute surplus method. In the part 1 to this partnership video, we have discussed highest relative capital method. How to compute relative surplus. how to compute absolute surplus, how to start distributing that surplus among the partners. We've done problem on this. And I told you towards the end of the last session that whenever we meet in the next session, we will start our discussion on maximum loss method. I told that to you before, and here we are today discussing maximum loss method. So, what are we waiting for? Without much delay, shall we get into the topic of maximum loss method? How exactly is maximum loss method different from highest relative capital? If you want, we can discuss this theoretically like this, or I'll show it to you in a very practical manner like this. I'll just see if I have the file ready. Last time discussion file. If I have it good. If not, then we'll create a new file. All to case 1 2 3. No, six. This is a different file. This is not the one. We need to open a new file. We'll start a new Excel sheet and go about this. Solution of partnership. Yeah. If in case you have a closed look into partner's capital account, if in case you have a closed look into partner's capital account, you would always write this. No, there would be debit side, would have particulars, and then amount. This is our partner's capital account. In this partner's capital account, the capital will come on the credit side. Amount that he is to be paid. Out of this, some amount will be paid cash account. Some amount will not be paid. What is paid is the money that he gets in cash. What is not paid is realization loss. Amount not paid to partners. Let me put it right. And amount paid to partners. Let me put it in three. How much money so they got? Then we have amount paid to partners. After adjusting all those reserves, remuneration, or whatever. So this is what we'll have. Amount paid to partners, amount not paid to partners. And this is our partners capital. This is amount payable to partners. And we'll have totals here. Now in this, I'll call highest relative surplus capital method as a method wherein we will find out amount paid to partners by our workings, and this amount not paid to partners or realization loss is the end item, that is the balancing figure. We repeat, in the highest relative surplus capital method we find the amount paid to partners by our working, and amount not paid to partners is determined as balancing figure. However, under maximum loss method, the entire scene is contra, ulta scene. What we do is we will find out the amount paid not paid to partners realized in loss first, and then we find the balance left as amount paid to partners. This is found as balancing. Yeah, this is a very pessimistic approach. Wherein I say I realize 10,000 rupees. Amount payable is 1 lakh. I will assume further there will be no realization, no more assets. Assets will realize 0 rupees after. So remaining 90 is loss. I'll share that loss to all the partners to determine how to distribute this 10,000 amount. Capitals payable to partners is 1 lakh. There are a lot of assets. First asset realized 10. I will assume that remaining assets will not realize any money. So 90,000 is loss. Only 10,000 is the realization. So that 90,000 I will share to partners. Realization loss. Then I'll get how much money they will get paid. That is balance figure. That's how I'll distribute. That is maximum loss method. Did you understand? So highest relative surplus capital method. Both are just with a small airline difference. Yeah. Under highest relative surplus capital method, what do we do? Compute it. This we compute. This we compute. Once we compute this is balancing. You get this red color, and this is what we compute. However, when you come to maximum loss method, the scene is fully getting changed. Under MLM, maximum loss method, what we do is amount paid to partners is there. No, this is balancing figure. This is balancing figure. However, this we compute. Yeah, we compute this amount of realization loss, and then we find out the amount we pay to the partners as balancing figure. And both of these methods, what is common is both the methods we started after paying all the outside liabilities. After paying outside liabilities, so we start with this. So in the previous session, if you see, we have done a problem or understanding our highest relative surplus capital method. In today's session, we'll take up an example problem and then see how exactly are we going to deal with maximum loss method. Shall we? Come on. Let us see how to deal with this. Example problem on maximum loss method. Beam, Chutki and Raju share profits in the ratio 2 is to 1 is to 1. Okay, Beam gets 2 shares, Chutki gets 1, and then Raju gets 1. 2 is to 1 is to 1 is their profit sharing ratio. Capitals just before dissolution is like this. Let us say their capitals are Beam 1 lakh, Chutki 60,000, Raju 40. Okay, Beam 1 lakh, Chutki 60, and Raju 40. Okay, realization proceeds after payment of outside liabilities. Let us assume that outside liabilities are paid. Okay, is as follows. After I finish this, the time permits, the same thing I'll do it under highest relative surplus capital method also. Realization proceeds after payment of outside liabilities is as follows. First realization, or I'll put dates, some dates. Let's take about like 29th of April 2022. Yeah, how much did you realized? Realized is 30,000, and on 5th of May 2022 realized rupees 40,000, and finally on 10th of May 2022 realized rupees 70 over now. Let us say some 80,000 realized. Totally it becomes 80 plus 40, 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 20 plus 30, 1 lakh 50 realized. Out of 2 lakh, 1 lakh 50,000 is realized. Amount payable to partners is 1 lakh 60,000, 40,000. That is 2 lakh in total. Amount realized is 8 lakh plus 40, 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 20 plus 30, 1 lakh 50. 50,000 is realization loss. How are we going to share this 50,000 realization loss, and how much money will each of the partner get is the question about. So show the distribution of realization proceeds. The maximum loss method. This is our example question. Now let's quickly start with the solution. I hope you're all ready, and I hope you're okay with me going for reduced time. Ah, let's start. Solution. Statement showing distribution of realization seats under maximum loss method. Hmm? Particulars. I want total column, and here we'll write partners. We can write amount available, amount payable. This is nothing but the total column. Then we'll write partners. The three partners, team and Ju. Partners. Okay. So how much is the amount payable to each partner? Partner's capital. Capital amount payable to each partner is like this: 1,60,000 and 40,000. 1 lakh to Beam, 60,000 to Chutki, 40,000 to Raju. Everything together, we can say we are supposed to pay 2 lakh rupees to all the three partners together. Okay. Now let's go for realization. This is after paying all the outside liabilities. We pay all the outside liabilities first, then we pay the partner's loan, and then we come to partner's cap. Realization proceeds. What date? 29th of April 2020. How much money realized? 30,000. Now, 30,000 is realized and balance money is not realized. 30,000 is realized and balance money is not realized. Now, what do? We need to assume that 30,000 is the only money realized. And after 30,000, there will be no further realization. 30,000 is the only money realized. And after 30,000, there would be no further realization of any money. Push, done. So if we assume 30,000 is the only realization and after 30,000 there will be no further realization, then we will come about at realization loss. Assuming that 30,000 is only realization and balance is loss. If that is the assumption that I do, if 30,000 is the only realization and if I assume the balance money is loss, then how much is realization loss? Realization loss will be how much? 2 lakh is the amount payable. 2 lakh is the amount payable. Only 30,000 realized. Realization loss will be 1 lakh 70. Realization loss, we'll write it as amount Amount payable minus amount available. Yeah, that is payable is 2 lakh. Voltage, sorry. The amount of realization loss is 1,70,000. You get this, or I can make this just amount call. 1,70,000 is the realization loss. This 1,70,000 needs to be shared between all the partners in profit sharing ratio. Needs to be shared between partners in profit sharing ratio. This is just for an understanding. You can skip this part. Now, to be shared in profit sharing ratio. Let's share it in profit sharing ratio. What is profit sharing ratio? Profit sharing ratio is 2 is to 1 is to 1. Hmm. Let's share this 1,70,000 in the ratio 2 is to 1 is to 1. 1 lakh into 2 by 4. Hope the font is still visible. 1 lakh into 2 by 4. 1 lakh into 2 by 4. Sorry, 1 lakh 70,000. Sorry. I'll do 1 lakh 70,000 into to get 85,000. And how about Chutki's share? Chutki's share is 1 by 4. So is Raju's share. So then I should do 1,70,000 into 1 by 4 and 1,70,000. How much do we realize? 1,70,000 into 1 4 42,500. And over here again 1,70,000 42,000. This is the amount of loss. You can write this in fact here as minus of 1. And here and all it's minus. So much money won't be paid, no? Realization loss. Yeah. So what is the balance? If I drop a balance here, what is the balance? After deducting the realization loss, 1 lakh minus 85,000. Yes. And here this. So we can say to start with 15,000 is what Beam should receive, 17,500 is what Chutki should receive, and Raju to bring in 2,500. Raju leave getting 40,000. Raju will not get 40. In fact, in return, Raju should get 2,500. This is called adjustment of surplus. What we need to do is, now this 2500 whatever is there, no Raju, we need to make it good. We cannot ask Raju to get 2500 right now. We will say yes, there is shortage. I agree that there is shortage. That doesn't mean you will ask Raju to get 2500 right now. You will not ask him to get 2500 right now. You will wait for the entire realization proceeds to happen. Only then you will ask him to get the money. You will not actually, the liability will be limited. It will not be like Raju should bring in money and pay to Bhiman Chutki. Yeah. So we'd have to adjust this. We'd have to adjust this surplus. I'd have to make it good by adding 2500 here. And this 2500 needs to be shared between Bhim and Chutki. In what ratio? In capital ratio. Capital ratio is 1 is, sorry, 10 is to 6. That is, we can say 5 is to 3. The 5 is to 3 ratio would have to share this 2000. Do you guys understand? Or what I'll do is, I'll do that answer a little better. I'll raise my realized amount because we're still in the beginning. I don't want to make it so complicated to you people. Let me make realization proceeds 50 here. Yeah. So assuming that 50,000 is the realization loss, how much money will be lost? 1 lakh 50. 1 lakh 50 I will share. So I'm just changing it so that you will straight away with the very first problem you will not face it as a difficulty with regard to surplus adjustment. In fact, I don't mind, I can teach you that part, but because this is the first problem that we're doing, I'm eliminating it. I'm assuming that my first realization proceeds is 50,000. Because I realize 50, loss comes to 1 lakh 50. 1 lakh 50,000 out of 2 lakh is being received. So, sorry, 50,000 is received out of 2 lakh. 1 lakh 50,000 is lost. I'm going to share this 1 lakh 50,000 between everyone. Yeah, the ratio 2 is to 1 is to 1. 75,000 is lost to Beam. The 1 lakh 50,000 into 1 by 4, 37,500 is lost to Chutki, and 1 lakh 50,000 into 1 by 4, 37,500 is lost to Raju. So, loss to Raju, after deducting, he should get 2,500. Chutki to get 22,500 and Beam to get 25,000. So, this is the amount to be paid to them. So, we have 50,000. Let us pay less amount paid partners. Yeah, how much do we pay? This realization loss, I'll write here. It's not. So how much will be paid now? 50,000 will be paid. How will this 50,000 what we have? Here we have 50, no? How are we going to pay this 50? This 50 will be paid as 25,000 to Bhim, 22,500 to Chutki, and 2,500 to Raju. Yeah. So this is the absolute surplus computation if we do and then start distributing this money to Bhim, Chutki, and Raju. This is how it is going to be. Really, sir? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want, you can go down and then prepare highest relative surplus capital method में the same table and then see, and you will get the same answer. Now I'll say amount payable. After the first realization proceeds, how much is the amount payable to each of the partners? Beam was supposed to get 1 lakh and Beam is already paid 25. Beam was this is completely notional. Whatever has happened here, no, this much is notional. And we would only take the first line and the last line into consideration. 1 lakh means 25,000 is paid, 75,000 is still payable to Bhim. Who is it so, sir? Yes. How about Chutki? Chutki was supposed to be paid 60 and Chutki was paid 22,500. So, how much is the balance money to be paid to Chutki? 60 means Chutki has received 37,500, 22,500 to be received 37,500. Same is the case with Raju. Raju is supposed to receive 40. Raju has received 2,500. Raju is yet to receive 37,500. Now these amounts are to be paid using our second realization. These amounts are to be paid using our second realization. Now let's go to second realization. Yeah, realization process. On what date? on 5th of May 2020. 5th of May 2020. How much money is received on 5th of May 2020? 40,000 rupees. Now, what is the amount payable? You are supposed to pay 1 lakh 50. We are assuming that only realization is 40 and the balance money is loss. We are assuming that 3,000 is the only realization and balance money is loss. A few more lines. Yeah. Let us assume that 40,000 is realization, balance money is loss. How much will be realization loss? Amount payable minus amount available. Amount payable is 1 lakh 50 because out of 2 lakh, 50,000 is already paid and balance 1 lakh 50 is still payable. Out of that 1 lakh 50, 40,000 is what we have. So if we have 40 and we pay 40, balance 1 lakh 10,000 is not payable. 1 lakh 10,000 is loss. 1 lakh 50 is the amount payable, 40,000 is realized. We are with a pessimistic approach that after this 40 there will be no further realization. That's it. Khatam. Tata. Bye bye. So balance 40,000 will not be, only 40,000 is realized. Balance 1 lakh 10 will not be realized. So 1 lakh 10 is our loss on realization. Got it? This 1 lakh 10 needs to be shared between partners in profit sharing ratio. What is the profit sharing ratio? 2 is to 1 is to 1. Let's start sharing. And right here 1 lakh 10,000 into 2 by 4. 1 lakh 10,000 into 1 by 4. Again 1 lakh 10,000 into 1 by 4. Yeah, let's do. This is loss, so we deduct minus 2 by 4. 55,000. Is the loss to beam. How much is the loss to Chutki? Lakh 10 into 1 by 4. 27 point. And it will be same for Raju also. 27,500. Out of the proceeds receivable or amount receivable of 75, he will not receive 55,000. We are assuming that that much money is lost. And for Chutki also, out of 37,500, we are assuming that 27,500 will not be received. So much is lost. And same for Raju. Raju is supposed to receive 37,500. Out of that 37,500, we will assume 27,500 is lost and we will not receive this. If we will not receive this money, we will find out how much money will be receivable. Balance after realization. Or I can say amount payable, because from the total amount payable or amount receivable means if we deduct loss, what you get is amount to be received. No? So how much money will be received by each of them? From 75, 55 is lost, so 20 will be received. And from 37,500, 27,500 is lost, 10,000 will be received. And from 37,500, another 27. Back line. Fantastic. So this is the amount paid. So after you pay this amount, then what will be the amount still payable? We will take that, and then that's when we go into our third realization. And if in case any of the amount becomes negative in here only, yeah, you can't ask them to what to say pay us money. That will be notional loss, no? So we can't really ask them to pay money. So that is where we need to adjust that surplus between the partners. I hope you guys are aware of that, and that needs to be adjusted in capital ratio. So because this is just the beginning, I didn't want to do a problem on that, and this much is just notional. Whatever we did now, this entire thing is all dongi. What do you say? Drama. This 40,000 needs to be paid to each of them. We don't know how to pay. That 20, 10, 10. We need to identify. No. To identify that, we did this so much drama. Understood? Now, tell me how much is still left out as amount payable. Out of 75,000 that needs to be paid to B, 20,000 is got. So 55,000 is still payable. Sutki is supposed to be paid 37,500 has been paid 10. 27,500 is yet to be paid. Raju is supposed to be paid 37,500 has been paid 10,000. 27,500 is still pending. 500. Perfect. 37,500. 37. Yeah. Raju had some absolute surplus. Got paid. How many more realizations do we have? We're done with first realization, second realization. We have one more, last one. 10th of May. 10th of May. Last realization. At the end of this, I'll say tata bye bye to this session. So realization proceeds on 10th of May 2020. Is how much? 80,000. We are realizing how much? Realization proceeds is 80,000. Now let us assume that 80,000 is the only money realized and balance money will not be realized. Obviously also there is no more realization. However, otherwise also there is no more realization. 1,10,000 is the amount payable and 80,000 is the amount realized. So what will be loss? It will be 1,10,000 minus 3,000. So realization loss is 30. This 30,000 needs to be shared between all the partners. Yeah, be shared between all the partners in profit sharing ratio, which is 2 is to 1 is to 1. Let us share this into 2 by 4 to 1 by 4, 30,000 1 by 4. So how did you get these figures? I just did ratio. I did 30,000 into 2 by 4, 30,000 into 1 by 4, and 30,000 into 1 by 4. That's how I arrived at it. Now, out of 55,000 payable to Beam, Beam will not receive 15,000. So, what will be the balance that he will receive? Will be the balance money that he will receive is my question. We'll try to figure out now. Yeah. So 55 may say 15 if he doesn't receive, will receive 40. Out of 27,500 is 7,500 is lost, he'll receive 20, and so does Raju. Now let's say less amount paid to partners. How much is amount available? 80,000. How much will you pay? 80,000. When we pay 80,000, how do we get this 80,000? How is this 80,000 paid? 40,000, 20,000, 20,000. And entire scene what we did till here, no, this much is just drama, absolute drama. 55 is there. Out of that 40 is paid, 27,500 is there. Out of that 20 is paid. Out of 27,500, 20,000 is paid. 1,10,000 is total payable. 80,000 is the amount paid to partners. So what will I arrive at? I will arrive at amount payable. There is no further realization. So I'll say realization loss. That's it. This is the actual realization loss. How much? 30,000. How much here? 15,000. How much here? 7,500. How much here? This is my actual realization. How did I arrive at this? I'll write it here. These items 55,000 minus 15. How about here? 27,500 is payable. Out of that, I paid only 7,500. The balance money, I'm saying, sorry, bro, your loss. For here also, 27,500 minus 7,500. Yes, that's it. This is the realization loss. Now you might say, sir, won't I get it if I do the total here? Amount total payable here is 2 lakh. Amount total available here is, see, here I can say in total only, no? Amount payable 2 lakh. That is 1 lakh plus 60,000 plus 40,000. Amount available here individually 50 plus 40, 90. 90 plus 80, 1 lakh 70,000. Can I say that 30,000 here is only realization loss? Yeah, yeah. Realization loss here is also 30,000. And that needs to be shared between them in the ratio 2 is to 1 is to 1. But in each stage, how much money do they get? Out of the realization number 1, 50,000, how much money will each of them get? In realization number 2, how much money will each of them get? In realization number 3, how much will each of them get? That is what we are trying to find. So the priority of payment. In order to determine the priority of payment, we do absolute surplus and then solve it. That is what we did here also. If you observe, they didn't get the amount in profit sharing ratio. The amount paid to them is 25,000, 22,500 and 2,500. This is not PSR. This is not PSR. The reason is we need to compute that absolute surplus. Capitals in profit sharing ratio, take one as base and then do all that. Yeah, that's something that we are supposed to do. Yeah. So for two shares, we is paying 1 lakh. So for one share, he pays 50,000. For one share, B Chutki pays 60. For one share, Raju is paying 40. So Chutki is paying the most. So we'll take Chutki's capital as base and then identify how much is Beam and then Raju's capital should have been. Minimum capital, no, minimum least is 40. 40 you will take. And then 40, 40 and then 80. 40, 40, 80. So 40, 40, Raju will become 0. Here you get 20. So first you pay 20,000 to Chutki. And then out of the remaining 30,000 you go for sharing. Do you get that? So that's that absolute surplus computation that you need to do, which we've done in the previous session. If you want to watch our HRCM method, you just need to, in this very YouTube channel of Unacademy, you need to just search for my name, C. Rajavardhan, or tap on my hashtag that you see here in the video link, and you would be taken to the all the videos that's posted in my name, and you would see the video on piecemeal distribution under highest relative surplus capital method. I hope this session was fruitful. I hope this session may you understood how to deal with certain part of your answer, that is with regard to maximum loss method. So here I am showing you people the question that I just discussed and then the answer as well. You can get in touch with me in the name C. Rajvardhan or accountsman. And if in case you would want this Excel sheet what I discussed with, you can get in touch and I'll share this file with you. You can text me on an academy's their app as well. And that's it for now. Stay tuned for more videos of this sort. on CA intermediate syllabus. If in case you want a video on any specific topic of CA intermediate, please do drop in a text message or drop in a comment to this video, and I'll come back doing a video on that part very soon. Hoping to see you all in the next one. Then tata, bye bye, take care, have a great time. Remember, life is not a battle to be struggling, it's a game to be enjoyed. Till the time you're learning something new or having fun, it's all good. The day you guys either stop learning something new or stop having fun, trust me, you might start struggling because you might be. So, thumb rule to stay happy is pretty simple. It is to stay in the game. So, for one last time on this day, I have just one simple question to all of you: are we in the game? I hope the answer is yes, we are in the game. That's it, guys. So, if you want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot of first two realizations. Wait. Yeah, first two realizations, and then the last realization. You can pause and then take a screenshot if you do want. See you all in the next one. Till then, bye, guys.